Hello and welcome to A Gameplay for All Seasons. Today we're going to be talking about Gotham Knights, and in particular I want to be talking about combat. Now there's two elements of combat I want to discuss in this video. So firstly, the element of combat I want to talk about is the fact that they are changing the style in this game from the prior Arkham series that we've seen. Now initially I thought that was a bit of a shame because if you think about the Batman games, they were really good brawler. The mechanics were really good. It felt very fresh when it came along. It wouldn't have necessarily been the first game to do it in the way it did, but it was certainly the one that really felt really fresh. It felt new, and it was really sort of that mass thing that went out there to people in a very big game. So like I said, I felt a bit of a shame that you're moving away from that, which has been confirmed. But actually, when I start to think about it and sort of read what they're saying about it, it probably is nice to evolve the mechanic, because if you think about it, even though it's really good and it's been fun for all those Arkham games, in a way, even if it's a really good system, it can start to feel a bit stale. I think you think you want to play the game, and then maybe you play it and you think it's really good, but it feels a bit samey. And by completely refreshing the combat system, I think that's really going to feel fresh, and it's nice to see something new. And in a way, they kind of have to do that, right? Because if you think to yourself, I've got a great mechanic, I'm going to stick with that in every single game, what's going to happen? Someone else is going to come along, they're going to come up with something that's not even necessarily better, but it's just fresher, it's a bit different, and then people are going to go for that instead. So actually, I think it's probably quite a wise thing they're doing it. They've said this is still going to be a brawler, which is good, because that is a great mechanic. But also as well, if you read a bit more into what the developers have been saying about it, it kind of feels like they probably actually had to change the fighting system on this one, because they want to incorporate the whole duo system. So that's where obviously you can sort of drop in and out of someone else's game in co-op multiplayer, and you can go from fighting one to fighting two. That sounds really interesting, and it sounds like they've really that sort of core to this new system. So actually, if you are going to be playing co-op multiplayer, it should be really good. Obviously, we haven't seen too much about what the system will be, but I kind of feel like I should put my trust in them, and they're probably going to come up with something good. And something that is quite exciting about it as well is they really are emphasising how this is from the ground up. So it should be something different, still in that brawler style, still feel like it's part of the things we've seen before, but actually from the ground up and new. So actually, I'm quite excited about it. So the second thing that I want to talk about, and second element of combat I want to discuss in this video, is something I'm a bit more wary about, which is they've spoken about, and this is a little bit different to prior games, where the element of leveling up. And it's not just leveling up yourself, so as you get better, you learn more abilities. It's the fact that your enemies are going to be leveling up as you do. And not only are they going to be leveling up, but they are actually going to be learning more abilities as they go along. And I've got a few concerns about this. Firstly, it can make it feel a bit less meaningful to actually level up, bar learning new abilities and doing more things. It can feel slightly pointless if you are getting better and also your enemy as well, particularly if they are going to be learning new abilities, which we know they are, because it can, I played games before where they've done this sort of thing, and actually, it can mean that you want to fight an enemy before a certain level because they can't do a certain ability that's actually really difficult. So in a way, even though you're leveling up and theoretically you'd expect that to be making it easier, it can actually make it harder, which isn't something that I'm a massive fan of. I mean, personally, what I quite like is game, if you go back to all the way back to Knights of the Old Republic, which I'm sure some of you have played, you get to a point where you're sort of overpowered and you're too much for everybody almost. And that's a really fun part of the game, at least for me, when you get towards the end of the game, to be like that. It's like you've put loads of effort in, you've put hundreds of hours, you've leveled up, you've done sometimes some tedious tasks to get really good, and you have got good, you're overpowered, and you just have a bit of fun, and you're sort of this unstoppable force, which very much doesn't sound like is going to be something in this game. So like I say, I am quite wary about the change of approach here. However, I would say, given the fact that the prior games were so good, they're trying to create this from the ground up. Again, like I said before, I probably should just be putting my trust in them that they're going to be able to do something quite good. Like I say, I'm wary, but I'm going to be open-minded to it, at least until I have it in my hands. And like I say, hopefully they nail it and knock it out of the park. But But we'll have to see. Like I say, I am wary. Now, if you're excited about Gotham Knights and you want me to make some more videos on this, do like the video. Subscribe as well if you don't want to miss out on future content on this and Hogwarts Legacy and all sorts of stuff we've got going on the channel. And also any comments, love to hear them, so put them down there as well. And I will see you on the next video.